EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Marchich here with your outlook for September 13th, 2023. It is Wednesday, middle of the work week, and the Wednesday video forecast is proudly sponsored by the KP Agency in Easton, Pennsylvania. The KP Agency is Easton's only woman-owned insurance group and is an independent brokerage specializing in Medicare insurance products. Turning 65 and enrolling in Medicare can easily be described as one of the most overwhelming and confusing processes. You are bombarded with ad mail and endless calls, and the information out there can be both misleading and unreliable. Why not use a trusted local professional to guide you through the process, and at no cost? The KP Agency can educate and enroll you in all of your Medicare-related needs. Visit them online at thekpa.net or give them a call at 908-329-7140, and please tell them that Bobby from EPAWA sent you. They are the KP Agency in Easton, Pennsylvania, proud sponsors of the Wednesday video forecast. Okay, so today we have a cold front moving through this morning. It's going to be very early in the morning, though. This is not going to be an all-day thing. We're going to have showers and storms like it looked the other day. The National Weather Service put up a flood watch for overnight last night, and also the Storm Prediction Center put up a slight risk for severe. Neither one are probably going to work out. Okay, unless you're down by the Delmarva, northern Delaware, southern New Jersey, northeastern Maryland. That's about it, where we have some marginally severe stuff going on this evening at the time this video is recorded. But other than that, we should be okay overnight as far as excessive rainfall is concerned, which is what you would expect from a flood watch being issued with 1 to 2 inches of rain. That's not happening. Okay, so we didn't have that overnight, and we're not going to have that overnight. But we will have this front moving through very early this morning, and that is very early. As we go to the NAM high-res future simulated radar, we're going to start this off just past midnight. This is looking at 3 o'clock in the morning. Some scattered showers in the interior and some thunderstorms far southeast. And as we move this forward here through the morning, just some early showers across the Delmarva, and that's it. Everywhere else, it just about ends. You will have cloudy skies this morning. Will become mostly cloudy and then partly cloudy this afternoon. This is going to move out very, very quickly. So any concerns about this day being a wash are out the window. Okay, we're looking at the very early return of the sun here on Wednesday, and that is going to remain with us for a considerable amount of time going forward in the week ahead. The big thing about this cold front moving through is that behind this is we have a big trough settling into the region and cooler temperatures coming into the region. Cooler and lower humidity, which is something everybody likes, and we're not going to be dealing with those high humidity days with temperatures in the 80s. This time of year you don't see 90s anymore, but temperatures in the mid-80s with, heat index values in the 90s are still possible. We're not going to have that this week at all. In fact, we're going to be in the lower 70s. As you can see above me, 70 to 75 is the temperature spread here on Thursday in the wake of that system. So that is, so this cold front moves through, lowering humidity this afternoon, lowered humidity here on Thursday. Here is Hurricane Lee. We've been talking about this ad nauseum throughout the week. This is going to be moving up to the north, and eventually it's going to, the trough that's in place over the northeast, which is sitting, there's a big trough sitting here. This trough is going to grab it, kind of like, I don't want to make references to Hurricane Sandy here because people have bad PTSD type stuff from that. This is not that kind of system. Here's the trough sitting right here. This is actually going to grab this just like Sandy did, but pull it back a little bit before it heads up in this direction, okay? So how far does that retrograde back? Well, I'm starting to favor the European model solution that does this. So this is the westernmost solution of any guidance that is out there right now, but I think it's very plausible. I am not arguing against the European model at this range. It's at a deadly range. I'm not going to argue against it. It brings it up almost due north, well off the coast. There will be some localized impacts here, especially Thursday night through Saturday. We're going to have along the shore points rip currents to deal with. We're going to have some coastal flooding to deal with, where normally dry ground is going to be inundated with a little bit of a increase in the water levels that's going to go up and over dry ground. So we're going to have a coastal flooding issue here on from Thursday night through Saturday. We're also going to have wave heights that are going to be 8 to 12 feet along the Jersey Shore. And also the Delaware coast, Maryland coast as well. So as this passes by, it's going to generate a lot of surf, a lot of rough surf. This is going to be a very large system, even though it is about 300 miles offshore. It is not making any direct impacts to our area, but the waves are going to be an issue. The storm surge is going to be an issue. Maybe not much, but like a foot or two above normally dry ground here across New Jersey, Delaware, and Maryland. And we're also going to have a rip current issue, so you're not going to be able to go on the water. But if you do want to go down to the Jersey Shore to just see the waves that are normally 2 to 3, 3 to 4 feet, and that are now 8 to 12 feet, that's going to be a big difference. If you want to go out there and see those waves crashing into shore, some beach erosion issues, not only here, but all up and down the East Coast here, there's going to be an issue with that, okay? So this storm, we think, is going to go due north, just like this. And then that trough that's over the northeast United States is going to grab it and pull it northwest a little bit toward Cape Cod, toward eastern New England. And this may make landfall here in either Maine or somewhere between Maine and Nova Scotia. Somewhere in between there is where we're expecting it to be, even though the National Hurricane Center official forecast takes us east of there to Nova Scotia as a post-tropical storm. I do think it's going to be a post-tropical storm on landfall wherever it hits. Because you're at very cold waters relative to, you're outside the Gulf Stream here, so this is going to decrease rather quickly in intensity. It's going to become like a very strong nor'easter, or the equivalent of that, that you would see in wintertime. This is not much different from that at that point up in these areas, so this is not unprecedented wind and rain for that is rain, not snow, but it's not unprecedented for that area to see that kind of thing. But I think the westernmost envelope of this forecast is going to end up verifying. That's just my gut feeling. That's going to be up in this area right here on the western side of this cone rather than the center or east. But that remains to be seen. That's just Bobby's call. That's what I think. Okay, I do think eastern New England is going to be under the gun here. Because if it's in this position right here, you're going to have some tropical storm force winds extending everywhere where the rain is here on this image. And in this position here on Saturday, there will be some high clouds extending all the way around this hurricane because this is a very broad and massive system here at this point. When it gains latitude, it spreads out. So we will have some clouds to contend with at times on Saturday. Not all cloudy the entire day, but especially in our eastern and northeastern zones, we'll have the opportunity for more clouds than sun because of this storm's proximity. But I think once you get back to Sunday, we're just back to partly cloudy skies, and that's it. This system is safely off to the north and east. The ensemble tracks here from the European ensemble are very telling. Look at all the members on the west side here of the center. This is the center of the tracks here. There's about half, maybe even more than half. This is a bit different from yesterday where we saw 60% on the right side of the center, which is this black line in the middle. Now it's about 60% on the west side of the middle here on the European ensemble. So I think you have to pay attention here. If you're in places like Cape Cod, Boston, anywhere along coastal Maine here, especially because I think it's going to get up in the Gulf of Maine and it's going to provide some really rough conditions up there from a post-tropical hurricane or tropical storm force conditions in that area. So if you're out, a family up in the area or traveling up in the area, please pay attention to the forecast here over the next couple of days. I wouldn't be surprised if this does what exactly the European model is doing. Due north, and then it hooks northwest just a little bit into the Gulf of Maine, but this is going to cause a lot of problems here for eastern New England, I think, but not our area specifically, okay? So hopefully we're not talking about this much more. I am going to address this again each day going forward, but I don't think we're going to have anything locally to deal with because after this point, once this moves through, again, Sunday we have intervals of clouds and sun, partly cloudy here again on Monday as well. We have a cold front that's going to move through overnight, Sunday night into Monday morning. Should be a mostly dry front, but there could be a passing shower at that overnight Sunday night when it does so. And then back to partly cloudy skies here on Monday and Tuesday. We're looking at mostly sunny skies in its wake. So a long stretch here, basically, after today, after the very early morning showers and perhaps thunderstorms move out, we will have a very long stretch from Thursday through at least Tuesday of next week where you have very little precipitation except for that reinforcing front coming through on Sunday night. I'm EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Marchus. That is your outlook for September 13th, 2023. Have a great Wednesday.